Hey, what's up, everybody? Gonna do a classic rock reaction, man. This is an artist spotlight, man, and it's featuring the musical talent of the late great Cozy Powell. Great, fantastic drummer, man. So, in an artist spotlight, what I typically do is I bunch up the songs. In this case, it's a quad, and I bunch them up and I do them back to back. And then on the back end of that, the review portion, I focus on the artist himself, not so much song details, album information, all of that sort of thing. Artist spotlight is just strictly focusing on the artist, and we want to get to know the legend and the man himself. So that's what we're going to do today. So, man, before I pop this off, I just want to give a shout out and a thanks to Don D. Thanks very much for the recommendation, man, and providing the links. Actually, first, before I read Don's note, the songs are Rainbow, Kill the King, Don't Believe a Word, that's with Gary Moore, Cozy Powell, and Phil Lynott. Touch and Go, Emerson, Lake, and Powell. And finally, Black Sabbath, Headless Cross. And then there's another addition here. It says Kids Show with Robert Plant as a surprise. So we'll check it all out, man. We'll just do it all in one batch. So Don says, "Hi STB, hope all is well. Here's a tribute, artist spotlight tribute to the late great Cozy Powell. He's popped up before on a couple of your vids, namely Jeff Beck and Rainbow. These are just some great songs he played on. The Sabbath clip is with the excellent Tony Martin on vocals. I tagged on an amusing short clip at the end that you might want to add as part of the bio. Thanks again, STB, and enjoy." Right on. Thank you, Don. I appreciate it, man. You always have some really excellent recommendations. So, let's hit this up, man. A back-to-back, straight through, 5 in a row, featuring the late, great Cozy Powell. This is starting with Rainbow, Kill the King, live in Munich in '77. Let's get it. Ronnie James Dio, Richie Blackmore. Oh, Happy New Year, by the way. It's New Year's Day. Damn. I should have led with that. '77. Didn't he leave Deep Purple in '76 or late '75?
Danger, danger, we're about to kill.
assembly of musicians. I was thinking, this is so silly and random, but Cozy Powell is such a great drummer's name, isn't it? Kind of like Ginger Baker. That must be powerful force being right there in the audience.
All right! Woo! Thank you so much. Again, we say thank you for staying so long as you have. We hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Right on. So, don't believe a word. Gary Moore, Cozy Powell, Phil Lynott.
It was my new single, Back on the Streets. This is a song from the album of the same name. It's called Don't Believe a Word.
Phil is from Thin Lizzy, isn't he?
If I tell you, not a word of this is true. Don't believe me if I tell you, especially if I tell you that I'm in love with you. Don't believe if I tell you that I wrote this song for you. There might be some other silly pretty girl I'm singing it to. Don't believe a word. The words are only spoken, and our heart is like a promise meant to be broken. senses true. Don't believe me if I tell you, especially if I tell you that I'm in love with you. Don't believe a word. No, don't believe a word. Please don't believe me. Not a single word.
That's a good shot. This groove is hard. Who's the other guitarist next to Gary? Right on. They were rocking it out at the end there. Touch and Go. Emerson, Lake, and Powell.
Man in the street, nowhere to sleep. No time for nothing, nobody to lead. Pedal to the middle, blow by blow. You're running with the devil, it's touch and go. They're leaving you nothing, nowhere to go. Just put you in the corner like an old banjo. The strings are breaking, but you can't say no. You're running with the devil, it's touch and go.
I didn't catch the year of this.
You see this woman on a TV show. She's dripping in diamonds from head to toe. They make you believe it's the status quo. You're running with the devil, it's touch and go.
Good song. I don't think I've ever heard it. Headless Cross. The great Tony Iommi. Hear you, Giza.
People
Henry James is about to talk to
Good
a
tune.
pop
So this
person.
is kids show.
Before she does talk to that
With
pop
Robert
person,
Plant
she would
as a
like to thank
surprise.
Jeff Arthurs for that sealed not film we saw earlier. Hello, Cozy, and welcome. How are you?
Very well. I'd like to thank Rick Parfitt for lending me his shirt. Which is,
Yes, very nice.
very
yes.
nice of him, I thought.
Very nice. He's like
Very
that, though.
outstanding,
Generous,
isn't
isn't
he?
he?
La,
Yes, very
la,
generous.
la, la, la.
Excuse me.
La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Hello.
Hello.
With you. Are you cozy at home?
No.
Are you cozy here?
No.
We're going to look at the clock. The big hand's pointing straight up, so it's something o'clock. Little one's pointing at 5, so it's tea time. Tea, cozy. Tea, cozy. That was fun, wasn't it?
No.
Ish. Thank you.
Yes.
It's time to go now.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That was fun, wasn't it? Through the round window.
As we were saying, starting off this in-depth interview,
Indeed,
it
yes.
really should be a question of not what have you been doing the last year, but in fact what bands haven't you been playing with would probably be more appropriate.
Well, I haven't been with the Ish. I haven't been with them yet. But the immediate world, it would seem that I'll probably be playing with those tomorrow.
Yes.
And the day after, I'll probably be doing a few other things with the Flam Flingers.
Yes.
From then on, I'm doing the Sanderson's Throat-specific mixture commercial.
But, I mean,
and then when
this-
I've done the tea, I'll probably have finished doing all the
You
playing.
probably will, won't you?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you with Miss Schenker, all kinds of different people during the year. I mean, you obviously like to keep moving around rather than being
This tea's
in one.
got something strange
I
in it.
shouldn't drink it,
No, I
Bowie. I wouldn't risk
At
it.
last, at last, at last, we've got culture on this program. That's Mozart at last. We've got cozy fan tutti.
Oh no, this is getting worse. Cozy, with all this different work
Quite
that
a
you're
show.
doing,
Yes,
and you've
yes.
even had time to find time to make solo albums, do you find that all the working with different people helps give you lots of ideas for your solo projects?
Well, they usually make me a bit madder than I initially started off being, but no, I mean, it's great fun working with all the different musicians in a serious moment. The only trouble is I can't fit them all in the daytime. It's like I've got to get them all in the evening and work with
Yeah.
certain people one day and a certain person the next day.
Yeah.
So it's all getting really out of hand. So,
But you've got no time for your love of car racing then, I should
no, that's the
imagine.
trouble. I'm trying to do Le Mans next year, if I get a chance. Possibly with another famous drummer, who will be revealed in a couple of weeks' time.
If yes, now let me just ask you, you played Pass the Pie with Robert Plant. There's been a few things in the press
yes.
lately about what are Cozy Powell and Robert doing behind
Yes.
locked doors. You've been chattering away in the corner. What are you two up to? Come on.
Well, actually, as it is Saturday and we are here now and live, but I'd just like to say that this is the world exclusive of
Great.
something that we've been saving up for a rather long time, and it is Saturday, and
You're
it is
gonna tell, you're
Tiswas.
gonna tell.
We're gonna...
Not yet, I'm afraid, not yet.
Oh, Robert, you spoil sport. You're always promising to come and talk to us and you don't. Never mind. You promise to come back and talk to us and tell all when you can. Oh, look,
The kids aren't even laughing.
Just good friends. There we are. Well, we'll move on with a cartoon. And what have you got written on your front?
Sweetie Pie now.
Sweetie Pie next. That's absolutely right because it is Sweetie Pie next.
What the heck was that show, man? All the same, it's cool seeing Cozy in a nice, semi-relaxed environment like that. You know, just being personable and answering questions. He certainly doesn't look like this big, menacing rock icon or anything like that, you know, which is cool. They're very down to earth and approachable, and that's always cool to see them in that kind of fashion. I remember there was a John Bonham interview like that. It was in black and white, and it was just, I guess, just shortly before his passing, and he was also very, very personable and witty, and you know, so it's really, really cool to see them in that kind of setting. So, excellent quad and a really cool little piece of footage there. And Robert Plant, yeah, so they're looking at around, I'm guessing it was probably early 80s, of course. You know, just looking at Robert, his haircut, his age, that sort of thing. Let me know the exact year if you guys have it. All right, so it's a really good sampling of the great Cozy Powell. And I definitely first noticed Cozy when I listened to Rainbow's Stargazer. Man, that was a fantastic performance, and he certainly brought the thunder, you know. So yeah, I've always liked this guy, and I've always heard in passing, you know, heard his name, and just like Don said, I'd actually had samplings of his drumming before, so I knew that he was really quite a celebrated drummer. So to do this up close personal spotlight is really cool, man. So let's do this. Let's get right into a little bio info. And there's a lot of information here in his wiki, man. So I'm gonna have to jump around. I can't read everything, that's for sure. Because they break it down very well here. In date increments, what he's done and stuff like that, and he's been everywhere. So I'll just jump around and pick the spots that seems more interesting. So Cozy Powell. Cozy Powell, born Colin Trevor Flukes, 29th of December 47 to the 5th of April 1998, was an English rock drummer who made his name with many major rock bands and artists such as Jeff Beck Group, Rainbow, Michael Schenker Group, Gary Moore, Robert Plant, Brian May, Whitesnake, Emerson, Lake Palmer, Black Sabbath. Okay, let's stop there. Powell had appeared on at least 66 albums with contributions on many other recordings. Many rock drummers have cited him as a major influence. Early life. Cozy Powell was born in Cirencester, Gloucestershire, and was adopted. You guys are going to kill me for my pronunciation, sorry. He never met his birth parents. He started playing drums at age 12 in the school orchestra, thereafter playing along in his spare time the popular singles of the day. The first band Powell was in, called the Corals, played each week at the youth club in Cirencester. Damn. During this time, the band broke the world record for non-stop playing. At the age of 15, Cozy had already worked out an impressive drum solo. The stage name Cozy was borrowed from the jazz drummer Cozy Cole. By 68, the band had returned to England, basing themselves around Birmingham. Powell struck up friendships with fellow musicians like Robert Plant and John Bonham, both at the time unknowns, future Slade vocalist Noddy Holder, bassist David Pegg, and a young Tony Iommi. The Corals became the Sorcerers, then became Youngblood, and a series of singles were released in late 68 to 69. Youngblood. It's not the same as the Youngbloods, right? The Youngbloods with that hit, Come On People Now, Let's Get Together. That's the name of the song. Let's Get Together. Love each other right now. It's not the same, I don't believe. The group then linked up with the Moves bassist singer Ace Keeford to form the Ace Keeford Stand. 5 recorded tracks are available on the Ace Keeford album Ace the Face, released by Sanctuary Records in 2003. Powell also began session work. Powell with fellow sorcerers Dave and Denny Ball formed Big Bertha. Yeah, so now we get into time increments of his activity. This dude's been active from the time he started all the way to the end. Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump around in the time sequence. Yeah, let's pick what seems the most interesting. Isle of Wight and Jeff Beck. Okay. Powell also played with swamp rocker Tony Joe White at the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970. Powell landed the then highly prestigious drumming job with Jeff Beck's group in April of 1970. Their first project was to record an album of Motown covers in the US. This was never finished and remains unreleased. During the sessions, photographs show Cozy Powell and Jeff Beck present at the recording of Stevie Wonder's Superstition, on which Jeff Beck appears. Cozy has stated in interviews he plays on the record, but this remains to be confirmed. After the recording of 2 albums, Rough and Ready in October of 71 and Jeff Beck Group in July of 72, the band fell apart. Okay, so more time sequences here. So 70 to 71, 71 to 72, 72 to 74. Let's hit up 75 to 1980, Rainbow. In 1975, he joined Rainbow. Powell and Ritchie Blackmore were the only constants in the band's lineup over the next 5 years, as Blackmore evolved the sound of the band from a neoclassical hard rock heavy metal to a more commercial AOR sound. What does AOR mean? And it's capitalized. I'm gonna feel stupid once you tell me. I should know it, I'm sure. What's AOR? AOR sound. Rainbow's 1979 Down to Earth LP, from which singles Since You've Been Gone and All Night Long are taken, proved to be the band's most successful album thus far, when, however, Powell was concerned over the overtly commercial sound. Powell decided to leave Rainbow, although not before they headlined the first ever Monsters of Rock show at Castle Donington in England on the 16th of August in 1980. The festival was Powell's last show with the band. Yeah, you see, it's that time period now where bands and artists are making that transition from the 70s to the 80s. And of course, their signature sound is being challenged and probably reconstructed somewhat. And of course, with that shuffling, you're going to lose people. Some people wanted to stick to more of probably a hard classic rock platform, whereas a lot of people realized that, yeah, in order to survive into the 80s, we have to become maybe a little bit more mainstream, more commercial, whatever the case may be. So yeah, man, the signature sound sometimes has to change. So, and not everyone survives that transition, that's my point. Yeah, let's hit up some more timelines. So 1980, so in the 80s, he was in Bonnet and Force Field. That's a lot of reading. From 82 to 85 in Whitesnake. Yeah, let's read that. Powell was invited to join Whitesnake in late 82 after his departure from Michael Schenker Group in the same year to replace Ian Pace for a presumed farewell tour of the band in Europe. But after the success of Saints and Sinners album in the British and Japanese charts and the successful tour that culminated in a memorable performance in the Monsters of Rock Festival in August of 83, the band signed with the American label Geffen Records, but because of contract obligations, had to release one more album, slided in for their previous label, Liberty. Damn. Wikipedia, no damn punctuations, no breaks, man. Sorry for my terrible reading. Now, under guidance of A&R executive John Kolodner, the album was remixed with the help of famous producer Keith Olsen for the American market, with Cozy, Mel Galley, and John Lord as the only remaining members of the previous lineup, along with David Coverdale. His tenure with the band ended in the summer of '85 for contractual reasons, as Cozy decided to join Keith Emerson and Greg Lake in a revamped version of ELP. Okay. More timestamps. Dude's been busy, man. Yeah, okay, so 88 to 98, Black Sabbath and solo. Let's read that. Powell worked with Gary Moore in 88, followed by stints with Black Sabbath from 88 to 91, and again in 94 to 95. Between late 92 and early 93, Powell put together an occasional touring band using the old band's name, Cozy Powell's Hammer, featuring himself on drums, Neil Murray on bass, Mario Parga on guitar, and Tony Martin on vocals, an occasional rhythm guitar synth module. The band performed throughout Europe and appeared on German TV. Powell made headlines in '91 when he appeared on the BBC children's program Record Breakers, where he set a record for the most drums, 400 played in under 1 minute, live on TV. So that must have been that kids' TV show, Record Breakers, in 91? Okay. It looked like it was early 80s. Powell, along with Neil Murray, were members of Brian May's band, playing on the back to the Light and Another World albums. He played with May, opening for Guns N' Roses on the second American leg of their Use Your Illusion tour in '93. The duo also served a spell with blues guitarist Peter Green in the mid-'90s. Great Peter Green. Death of Cozy Powell. Powell died on the 5th of April 1998 following a car crash while driving his Saab 9000 at 104 miles per hour in bad weather on the M4 motorway near Bristol. His upset girlfriend phoned him and asked him to come quickly to her house, which was approximately 35 miles away. As he was driving to her house, she phoned him again and asked, "Where are you?" He informed her he was on his way, and she then heard him say, "Oh shit," followed by a loud bang. Powell was ejected through the windscreen and died at the scene. He was living at Lambourn in Berkshire at the time, and he had returned to the studio shortly before his death to record with Fleetwood Mac founder Peter Green. A memorial plaque in Cirencester was unveiled on the 7th of January in 2016 in a ceremony led by Brian May, with Suzi Quatro, Bernie Marsden, Neil Murray, Don Airey, and Tony Iommi in attendance. Okay, let's read just this last paragraph here. Posthumous releases. In October 2005, Powell made a new appearance on an album. Former Black Sabbath vocalist Tony Martin released a studio album, Scream, and on it is a track named Raising Hell. This was a track Powell had recorded the drum track for when he and Tony were in Hammer in '92, and gave to Tony for future use. There's apparently as many as 19 additional drum tracks also recorded that could turn up in the future. Judas Priest guitarist Glenn Tipton has also released material recorded during the '97 Baptism of Fire sessions. This 2006 collection, entitled Edge of the World, was released under the moniker of Tipton, Entwistle, and Powell, in memory of John Entwistle and Cozy Powell. Okay, yo. And that is it, y'all. That is our look at the late, great Cozy Powell. Sad situation about his passing there, man. What a shame. What a way to go. Damn. And so much more to do, you know, collaborating with the likes of great Peter Green. Yeah, the things that he could have offered and given us had he lived on. Yeah. I'm just scrolling through. There's just so much more information here, but that's enough reading, man. Really, really great quad, Don D. A really good look here at Cozy Powell. I've always wanted to take a little bit of a closer look, so I'm glad that I've got the opportunity. Thanks for that, man. So before I bounce, let me just update you guys on what's happening on the platform. It's a new year. This is January, the 1st of January, and this is John Paul Jones month. John Paul Jones, if you guys don't know who that is, he is the bassist of Led Zeppelin. It is his month, John Paul Jones month, Artist of the Month. So what that means is that I'm going to be taking a very, very close look at the life and the career of John Paul Jones, kind of like this, but spread out over the course of the month. So it's going to include interviews, whatever kind of reading, texts, video, timestamp clips of certain performances, certain highlights of his talents, and certain things that's unique about him. Hopefully learn some things that we didn't know before, all of that sort of thing. So just taking a much closer look. When I first started my channel, well, not very first, but a little ways into my channel when I started it, I started the Artist of the Month. And I had a lot more time back then, and it was really, really cool to take a really good look at the artist, and it gave me opportunity to do a lot of reading and listening and checking things out. I miss those days. I don't think that I'll ever get it back. I won't have that kind of time to do it again, but the odd time, it's very, very important. So I took a couple of days off going into the holidays, taking advantage of that to do an Artist of the Month feature. So I can't think of anyone more deserving than the great John Paul Jones. So that's coming up, man. So throughout the entire month of January, I'm going to be probably hitting you up with a couple of features of John Paul Jones per week, okay? I don't know if I'll ever reach my record of like, what was it? I think it was 17 for the Who, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to be close though. It was the Who first and then it was the Almonds, but we'll see how it goes, how many reactions I can squeeze in for John Paul Jones. Also, I've got some interesting things coming up from Yogi and Islrat. So all kinds of good stuff coming up on the platform. I'm also, speaking of John Paul Jones, I'm still posting a lot of my blocked Led Zeppelin stuff. In the last 3 weeks, all of a sudden, more than a dozen Led Zeppelin blocked content, all of a sudden I woke up one day and it was all unblocked, you know? You ever see a caged animal when the door suddenly opens and the animal is doesn't know what to do, what actions to take, all nervous about what actions to take? That's the way I am, you know. If I was to try and make them public, will it get blocked again? Will I suffer a copyright strike? You know, so I was just decided, to hell with it. So I've just been publishing them, and probably, I'm not holding my breath, but probably soon I can see them getting blocked again. So that's just the way we're going to have to roll with it. So if you see a lot of Led Zeppelin content this month, that's why. And not just because of John Paul Jones month, but because I want to get as many of them published so that people who have not seen it will at least see it once, and then they'll probably get blocked again, right? So if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it before, don't be hitting me up with too much Led Zeppelin. That's an old tune that everybody sings. So, but you understand the reason why I'm doing it. That's my point. All right. Yeah, I think that's it, man. I think that's it. No, that's not it. In the next day or 2 or 3, I am going to make an announcement. It's nothing negative, all positive, nothing but positive. Jeez, I'm getting drunk. Nothing but positivity on this platform. So I'm going to make an announcement, and it's basically going to be letting you know what I'm up to and how I'm going to be approaching things on the platform, and how I'm going to manage my time going forward, and all of that sort of thing, and the future of my channels, YouTube, and all of that sort of stuff. So look for that, and I'll make an actual separate post. It isn't going to be embedded in a reaction like this. Okay, so it's going to be a separate post, so look for that in a couple of days. All right, anyways, back to Don D. Thanks, man. I appreciate the recommendation. It's a really good way to kick off the new year, and I really appreciate Cozy Powell even more. I'll definitely do a little bit more featuring him down the road. The guy's been so busy, man. He's had such a big career, and he was able to literally go anywhere he wanted to. His name just basically was just so renowned, and so he could leave one big project and go to another big project. I'm telling you, that is a major accomplishment for a rock drummer. Anyways, that was great, man. So I look forward to doing some more Cozy Powell down the road. Thanks again, Don. All right, y'all. That's it, man. I think that's it. So have a good one. Next time you see me, it'll be tomorrow. It'll either be Yogi or Islrat's reaction. And then following that, that'll bring us to the 3rd of January. And that is John Paul Jones's birthday. And that's going to be my very first installment for John Paul Jones month. So look for that, all right? Have a good one. I'll see you later. Peace.